Hello, everybody. It's the Capnharris gang.
Yes.
We're home now.
We're home. We're back.
I am happy to be home. James and I were on the road for 46 days from Ljubljana to London, so I am, in fact, very happy to be home, even with all the problems that came with it. So what about you? You happy to be home?
Happy to be home, but unlike you, I still have gigs to look forward to. I have the Canada shows,
Yes.
so you have a different feeling than I do.
Yeah, mine's like over for the year. I don't have like anything else, but he is doing Canada, so it's awesome. Maybe you can report in, and we'll have Mike report in from Power Trip.
Yeah, we'll do Capnharris on location.
A correspondent.
Correspondent,
Yes,
yeah.
the Captain Correspondence.
I'll get a shirt printed.
Anyway, we just wanted to do like a little wrap-up video of our thoughts this year, because, you know, he's not got his shows over with, but we do, so we just wanted to like discuss our thoughts at like the end of, you know, our tour. And we saw 8 gigs total, all the UK and Slovenia, and I just thought we'd talk about like how we feel about the set list at the end of it, like favorite shows and cities and all that. So
Well, I think like going back to the first time seeing it, and Logan wasn't there unfortunately,
Right.
for Slovenia, but we had to be there. And if you watch the vlog, our reaction to Blade Runner is 100% real.
that was literally the greatest moment of my life. Like, that's my favorite part of the set, and it still is for every show. It was just the highlight for me, and that reaction was 100% legitimate. Like, I lost my damn mind.
So Logan, were you able to like see what they were doing live at the time while we were there?
I was scouring Facebook and YouTube and Twitter to find all the live feeds, and I found a live feed, I want to say on YouTube, and I watched Doctor, Blade Runner, and then I was excited. And as soon as Somewhere in Time started, I just screamed so loud, and I like ran through my house like a cat who had just taken a giant shit and had the zoomies. I was just like frantic because I mean we all knew it was going to be Somewhere in Time, right?
We hoped. There was a lot of people who were like, there's no way that they're going to play it. And I'm like, they have to. This is their last chance.
We heard the weirdest song selections from people that they think is going to open the set.
Yeah.
Like, just random songs from Senjutsu. I'm like, no, it has to be.
It's
It
Somewhere in
has to
Time,
be.
and they did it correctly. And now that we're this far in, how do we feel about Somewhere in Time?
Well, to me, it's the literal peak of the show.
It's so good.
It's so fucking good.
When the
like,
crowd's vocalizing before they come out, like,
Everybody jumps because it's got a nice bounce to it before the band comes out.
it's spectacular.
It literally was like one of the greatest moments of my life. Because, like, it's like I said, I thought they were going to do like an intro video, just something new.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think they were going to do exactly what they did
Yeah.
on Somewhere on Tour. And I was just like, this is fucking amazing. And that pause, like in Ljubljana, that like pause.
After the
Yeah.
explosion
And
noise.
everybody's just like, is it gonna
You
happen?
could hear a
Is
pin
it gonna...
drop. It was just
Yeah.
silent.
And then the synth came on, and it was just like, it was just amazing.
So much better than Senjutsu drums.
I mean,
To be fair, yeah.
to be fair, like there are a few things better than hearing the synth of Somewhere in Time. Like,
I feel like that is my favorite intro they've ever done, like
Absolutely.
hands down.
I it's up there for me too. Like, of course, like I love Mars going into Wicker Man and like those sorts of things, but like
I mean, come on.
this
What's better than this?
this is the thing.
Yeah.
This is the thing.
Plus, they've avoided this album for so long
Yeah.
that it's like,
Correct.
wow, they actually looked back from 30 plus years ago and said, we'll do it exactly like that.
Because
this
it was
time."
perfect the first time.
No notes. It was perfect.
And just to touch on Call More Time itself, like, yes, people have mentioned that it's played slightly slower and everything, but it really doesn't register when you're watching it live because the adrenaline's pumping so hard when you're waiting for the band to come out, and then they explode out with the pyro, and it just fits. Like, it doesn't need to be any faster to work.
May I mention the drums now,
Yes,
but also
later.
step on how it's gonna. So I was talking to a buddy of mine that I've known for a while. He's from the Midwest. He's on the forum. Hello, Adam. I know he watches the videos too.
Drumhead.
Bingo.
We said hi to him as well.
Very nice guy, but he's a drummer. He is a drummer, and he thinks because he's watched the videos where people discuss like, oh, the drum fills. He believes that Nico this tour is really focused on the metronome that he has, because the songs are complex. They are what they are, and that it's better for Nico just to be on the beat. Yeah, that's it. Than to go too fast, go too slow. Because can you imagine? I mean, we've seen some of the fuck ups this year. But imagine if it expanded.
Well, we've seen some songs just fall apart, but
Yeah.
I don't think they could pick back up Caught Somewhere in Time if it fell apart.
It's
It's just too quick and too intricate.
Yeah.
Too many parts going on.
and I think he's doing the professional thing, which is I'm gonna play it correct and just sort of lose some of the octopusy.
Yeah. I mean, he talked a little bit about it at the
Drum One. Yeah,
Drum
yeah.
One. He was just like, we discussed it as a band and we agreed that this is what we need to do because it's a very complicated set list and it's completely understandable to me. I will gladly hear his drums a bit simplified, a little slowed down to be able to hear this song live.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even just his choice, because he told the story at Drum One where he said that, Steve was learning the song, and then he came to the band and said, "Oh, this is a bit fast, isn't it?" And then he went, "Cheers," and they said, "Slow it down."
Cheers.
And he went, ha!
Yeah, the was a bit fast, so he had to slow it down.
Those of you who see a lot of Maiden gigs know of like the different movements of the band. One of our favorites, obviously, is when Steve Harris does this little like.
After he's jumping, he jumps, and then...
When he lands, he goes,
We don't know if he goes, ha, but...
No,
he definitely does.
In my mind and in my heart. Anyway, moving on. Song 2 or what's
Stranger
next?
to Stranger. So I love the fact that they just hit you 1-2 with two of the biggest songs on the album. The funniest thing is that this is the song that they've messed up the most through this tour. Almost every time we've seen them, there's been some catastrophic problem with this song.
Whether it's Adrian hitting the wrong note, Bruce messing up like where he is in the song.
He missed a complete verse.
Twice in a row.
Was it Birmingham?
Nottingham and Birmingham. He just was like...
Just skipped a whole section of the song, and the band was just like, I guess we're skipping that.
Yeah, I was like, oh, are they all going to be like on the same page with what they're going to do next?
I mean, they pulled it off.
You'd think that would be the one that they could just nail every time, because it's not too fast, it's just a nice
Simpler,
groovy song.
maybe, yeah.
Like, even the solo isn't that difficult. It's one of Adrian's best solos, but it's not that difficult. But like, the song works so well, and I love the look of the stage and what Bruce is wearing during that. I think it fits the most for that song.
I love the goggles.
The goggles are awesome. And we get just a little tiny glimpse of Eddie. He literally just walks out, leans on the stage, and then just walks right back off the stage.
And what's funny is like there was one of the shows that I was on, Yannick's side. I completely forgot that he comes out, and so I look over. I'm like, oh my god, Eddie's out! Like I've seen the show, I know that he comes out, but I'm like, there he was, because it's just so small.
Yeah.
Like, you don't expect Eddie to just do something small, but it adds to it.
You have to be looking in the right direction.
Yeah.
You have to be, yeah.
For that one. Writing on the wall?
Writing on the wall.
So yeah, I mean, obviously we heard this one last year. It's
Still good.
It's still good. Adrian's solo, and that's one of my favorite parts of the set, obviously. It's just fantastic. And
I think, we said Adrian, like, oh, Adrian's solo and Stranger is good, and then we're like, oh, this is the Adrian show.
Smith tour.
This is the Adrian Smith tour featuring Iron Maiden.
And Caught Somewhere in Time. Like, that solo is the solo of the song, too.
Like, it's just, congratulations, Adrian. You've done it.
You've done it.
You've taken over Maiden.
Yeah. Everyone thought it was Steve's band, and then Bruce secondary. No, it's Adrian Smith first. Everyone else after that.
But like Writing on the Wall, like that's the song I wanted again from what we saw last year of the three that we've seen. So totally expected it and great.
Happy it's that
I think
one.
we all predicted it too, right?
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
But it certainly wasn't a highlight at this point because everything else was new.
Well, yeah, because we've seen it. It's happened. And it's a good song.
Good song.
Just 2 Steve Harris thumbs up. Next was what? Days of Future Past?
Days of Future
Days
Past.
of Future Past.
I like this one. Thought it was pretty good live, and love Adrian's solo face.
Love Adrian's solo on that one.
Yeah, I love Adrian on this one.
4 in a row.
We're gonna say that 15 more times tonight. I love Adrian on this one.
Just love him.
I did
The Captain Smith part now.
Doesn't have the same ring to it now, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Captain Smith.
It's funny because I saw Pooch, the sound guy, the couple times when we did soundboard. I watched him like kind of handle Adrian's parts, and when Adrian's riff comes in at the beginning of the song when he soloed out, like I just see Pooch hit this button, and Adrian just goes whoa all the way up, and you can really hear it. Like he cranks Adrian up for that riff. Is awesome. It reminds me of Wicker Man, like when he comes out from Rock and Rio. It's
and
just
that big riff.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's a fantastic song. Great solo, obviously.
And now we're like in the Senjutsu part of the show.
Yeah, because we get 3 in a row.
Yeah, 3 in a row, which would then be Time Machine with the
Bruce's extended speech.
Gets faster and faster and longer each time. 1.21 gigawatts.
The DeLorean!
The DeLorean!
You know!
Somebody said he had 2!
That was funny when we were in Nottingham, and I could see the guy be like, "I got 1." He goes, "You got 1?" He goes, "I've got 2." It's like it was legitimately funny that it happened that way. But how we feel about Time Machine?
I love Time Machine live.
The little jumpy bit.
Oh, it's the best.
It's a big highlight of the set for me.
Like I had a friend who was like, "It wasn't as good as I thought." I'm like, "It's like one of the best songs of the fucking set. You jump and you have a good time."
Well, yeah, and I think you said it in one of the videos where this up to the song's just like you're like, wow, it's just the greatest set of all time.
Yeah.
And then Time Machine comes and you're like, wow, this song goes down like a fucking ton of bricks. It's so great. And then how good is it to go into Prisoner after that?
Isn't going down like a ton of bricks a bad thing?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a bad connotation.
Leave a comment.
What does bad ton of wait?
It was
going down like a ton of bricks. Is that bad or good?
Usually going down's a good thing. So
going down in flames is not a good thing.
I wasn't talking.
Going down like a lead balloon is not a good thing.
Leave it up to your imagination. What I'm talking about.
Anyway, we're coming up with The Prisoner.
The Prisoner.
So, and by the way, I just wanted to touch on Time Machine. Like, my favorite part of the song is not even the jumpy bit. It's literally when the whole song changes and it's freaking Adrian's little solo. It is. It just is. Like, he doesn't play anything that's on the album for that solo. He just rewrites it totally. But it's so groovy and cool.
He took a page out of Yannick's book. Like, what do you mean I don't have to play the solo? And Yannick's just like, fucking play what you want.
But anyway, the next Adrian song is The Prisoner.
Again.
And that was like an unexpected one in Ljubljana.
It was nice.
Except for me. I got that spoiled. I was so sad. But, yeah. Amazing to have that in a set again, because I only ever got to hear that, like, one time on the Made in England tour. Yeah. And it was like, I was just blown away back then. I'm like, I can't believe I got to see The Prisoner. And now it's just like, yay, it's in the set. That
because it's also like, of all the Number of the Beast tracks you could pick, like, maybe you would even pick Children of the Damned before you would pick Prisoner, but...
Because we've only got one Number of the Beast song in this whole set, and they chose that one.
The Prisoner. Yeah.
But the song just rocks. And after 3 Senjutsu songs, especially for people that don't really know the new stuff that well, like, that song just blasts out as like, oh, here we go.
It's a good way to remind you, like, we still got this shit.
And they absolutely nail it.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you feel this way, but this is definitely where usually people think of the set as like, okay, there's the main set and the encores. Mm-hmm. For me, there's the first half before this next song, and then the second half after this song.
Yeah, I see the set in 3 parts.
Yes. Yep. Death of the Celts.
You know, I got so excited in, what was it, Birmingham, when he started introducing Can I Play With Madness. I was like, oh my god, what's going to happen here? Are they going to, like, skip Death of the Celts? Because, like, he was just, like, I'm looking around like, who's going to catch this? Like, and then Steve comes up and tells him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Steve just, like, slowly walks behind him.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, wrong song.
But yeah, so obviously y'all know that that's not my favorite song, and like I said in Ljubljana, that set list was the greatest set list of my life up until that song started, and then I'm like, that's a bummer. If that was a Parchment, I think this would have been.
But that's
my
how
favorite.
You felt before, having seen the show now as many times as you have. How do you feel about Death of the Celts now?
I don't like it. I
Same.
I can't get into it at any show, and it's okay. Like, I know a lot of people actually do like this song, and you know, I'm happy for you having this in the set, but I hope for all the Parchment fans' sake that
next
they,
year
get it in the set.
Maybe drop it.
Yeah. And we even like kind of touched on it with Nico at drum 1. We had said like or no, he had mentioned without being
prompted, yeah.
He said that the Parchment is his favorite song on the album, and he has no idea why they're not playing it.
And I'm like, then play it. And he's like, what do we replace it with?
And I was like, Celts.
And he's like, we can't replace that. Yes, you
Yes,
can.
you can.
Yes, you can. 1 year is good enough for Death of the Celts. Year 2, Parchment. I'm telling you.
The U.S. fans love Parchment more.
Yeah.
We don't want to hear about the Celts.
Yeah. So I think that, it deserves to be played. Like, all the epics on Senjutsu, they'll get their time in the sun,
And it seems to be like a 50-50 split with fans on like 50% like, Parchment, and then the other 50 would prefer Death of the Celts. So let's just split the tour in half. We'll do half and half. But for me, Death of the Celts is just like, it's such a different pace than the whole rest of the set.
It's tough.
It's tough to get through. It's just so slow.
And very long.
Even like the quote-unquote fast parts, they still feel slow. And the crowd is just...
Well, that's what's tough. Is like I remember
responsive.
like whenever I was at the back and it was the do 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 that goes on for so long, and I remember just sitting there like zoned out, like I was completely disassociated with wherever I was. I was like, cool.
Also, we tend to grab for our
phones,
our ear protection for that song.
Ear protection.
Yeah, because I don't always wear mine. Like, if I feel like it's not too loud, I'll take it out. But it's like always wear it for openers, and the songs that like I don't like have the passion for, they go in because it's like I don't want to
protect the hearing when you can.
Yeah. So
having said that, always wear protection. Protect your ears so you can hear more from the Capnharris gang.
But last thing about that song, like it does still just kind of feel like Klansman is in the set from the last 3 years of it. But it's it's not as good as Klansman. No. So
not even close.
So happy for all of you that do enjoy that song for getting to hear your favorite. Now I want to hear my favorite next year.
You had yours, now give me mine.
Yeah. So anyway.
Can I Play with Madness? Or Agnes.
Agnes. I think crowd participation, I think this is the biggest song of the night. The chorus is just, like, people are just belting it from the rafters to the toilets.
It's a classic, and it hasn't been played in a while, so...
I also think it helps that Death of the Celts is before it, because people are zoned out for that song, and then they come back.
Yeah, they see the banner, like... Oh.
Yeah. They see a banner that they know, and then there's a huge chorus.
Yeah.
And, it invigorates the show kind of starts again, it feels like.
If Death of the Celts is definitely the pit stop, this is like a complete drag race out, because it just goes, Can't Play with Madness. I mean, what more needs to be said? It's just so good.
Yeah.
And then after that is...
What is next?
Can't Play with Madness. Is it Fear the Dark?
No. It's Heaven Can Wait.
Ah, yes. Can't forget that.
Yeah. So good. Like, yeah, okay, they don't have the fans on stage anymore, but for good reason, because we have this fucking thing.
Well, it's funny because it's like, I would have preferred to see it Madness and everything. It's like, Heaven Can Wait's good, but it's probably like my least favorite song on the album. But like what they've done with it, it's kind of like having Trooper, like, reinvigorated last year with the gunfight with Eddie. That was cool. That made Trooper really cool to have in the set.
Yeah.
But this having the Gatling gun and firing back and forth, now that was cool.
It was really impressive because they obviously had to figure out like what kind of firework we're going to use that disappears fast enough, but also it looks like it hits the target, and it does. It really does look like. And
like, where did the band members stand? Like, okay, you all have to stand in your spots during this part.
Can you imagine, like, all right, Dave, if you can move forward, we're gonna shoot a firework over your head. Dave's gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
It's great. Like, obviously, I would have liked Sea of Madness, and we had some contention on the ideas before the show about Sea of Madness versus Heaven Can Wait, and I thought Heaven Can Wait was more likely, but the weird thing was, like, I don't think they're going to have fans on stage, so that was kind of the thing that was up in the air.
That was my hold back on that, too. I was
like,
but can you really do it without the fans?
The answer, yes.
Yes.
You can.
Apparently,
because pyro.
Because pyro. And it was funny because I remember being in Ljubljana thinking, like, man, there's like no pyro in this set, and I was like really bummed because I love good pyro.
They were holding it.
And they were holding it for that and another one. But I'm just saying, it's like, that's where the budget went. Because I remember we were sitting and we were looking for the ones that like hang down, like for like sign of the cross and Mariner. I'm like, oh no, there's nothing up there. There's nothing up there. I was like, oh shit, they're not gonna have much pyro this show.
They did.
Oh, they did. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna wait. Happy to have that in the set the way it is now. So
absolutely,
I'm satisfied because I've never even seen it before myself.
I've never seen it before either.
Yes, you have.
Have I?
Somewhere back in time.
Not 2009 set. They dropped it and put in Phantom.
Shit.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was still in there.
Check the tape.
So it was a first for all of us.
It was the first, yeah, because they also dropped Hallowed from the encore and made Sanctuary the ending for that one. It was a weird thing. 2009, it was a blur.
Interesting. Anyway, what was after that? Fear of the Dark?
No, Alexander the Great.
Alexander the Great.
Great shirt. Alexander the Great shirt.
Alexander the Great shirt.
Yeah, I feel like we all kind of knew that it was at least being tried. And then I heard it getting rehearsed outside, so I knew it was, it was happening. But
man.
So they didn't like perform it in the way that I foresaw. Like I thought that they were gonna make that the song with all the business and all the pyro and everything, but they did that with Heaven Can Wait, the song before. Mm-hmm. It became evident that the band is in deep concentration for this song.
Oh yeah, if you watch any of the videos on this channel or ever, you can just see them just like.
Yeah, and it's every show.
Every show.
They haven't really loosened up for that song, and Bruce is like you'd think Bruce would be trying to make a big spectacle of that song, but he is just center stage. He is just focused on all the gobbledygook that has to come out of his mouth for that song.
Yeah,
and like we've seen him do the wrong lyrics a couple times, which I understand, but he generally nails it like every night.
That song, I think they're taken care of.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Adrian played his little intro to the solo bit, which I didn't think he would.
Adrian, man, can we talk about Adrian?
Adrian Smith.
It's so good. It's funny. Like anytime I'd be near you, I would always like right when the solo happened, I'd look and James just like, yeah, play that guitar.
And Adrian never plays everything like exactly right, except for Stranger. He does do that completely right, but he changes it just slightly, like the first licks in the solo. But it just freaking rocks. And I actually get more excited for Dave's solo because in that song, I feel like Adrian's solo is a bit more intricate with the rest of the band doing little bits where they stop and start, but then it just opens up the taps and they let Dave go through, and it's just this nice watery solo, the way Dave does it, and that's like a real highlight of Dave for me.
Reminding you that Dave Murray is still
in the band.
So good.
Anything else?
Finally, Fear of the Dark.
There we go. So, man, that could have been left out for something better. But, we were at a pizza place, and where was it?
We were at a pizza place in Nottingham. And we were like, let's just get a quick bite of pizza. And
the guy serving us was like, oh, I really wanted to see Iron Maiden, but they were sold out tonight, so I can't go. I just love Fear of the Dark. It's the best song. And I'm like, that's why they keep it in the set.
That's why, because there's one guy who...
Well, no, it's just...
No, in every city, there's at least one or two people who would love to see Iron Maiden because Fear of the Dark. And they would be disappointed if they went to see them and they didn't hear.
But couldn't you say the same thing about Number the Beast and Hallowed and Run to the
Hills?
I don't
know. I think because...
I don't know why Fear of the Dark is like the song.
I think it's because of the crowd participation aspect to it, and maybe there's a deeper connection that we just don't see because we...
have seen it so many times.
Personally, I could easily do without that for something better, but I understand why they have it in the set. So not much to say about
I have another song like that later in the set.
Yeah.
One more thing about Fear of the Dark is the couple times that we did soundboard where we could see the whole crowd. It's funny because as soon as Fear of the Dark starts and you hear that 4 count from Nico, every single person goes, whoa, and every phone goes
every
up.
phone.
Every phone. And they don't realize how long the intro is. So as it gets closer and closer to where the band blasts out and the lyrics really start, all the phones just start dropping one by one because their arms are getting tired and they don't get any of the good parts of the song. It's not funny.
But it's funny too because it's Fear of the Dark, and then all these camera phones light up, and you're just like, it's very bright in here now. Iron Maiden, what do you think?
It's Iron Maiden. The Eddie's cool.
What do you think of the inflatable Eddie?
I mean, I think he's all right.
What do you think about them writing Iron Maiden on the
I
backdrop?
think it's a little weird, but
I don't like it. I
Yeah.
think it's
haven't even thought of that.
Yeah.
That was weird.
right. It's not even in the font. It's not even. It's not even technically.
It's a little weird. I think the inflatable is probably from the Senjutsu tour that was to happen.
That didn't happen.
That didn't happen, as I think the drum kit is as well. But I think it's like, there's a few pieces of this stage set that were probably brought in from, we intended to use them on this tour, but they'll work for this. But yeah, it's not my favorite like background or anything like that they used.
But I mean, at least they throw in another Walk On Eddie. I don't think that's been done before for Iron Maiden, has it?
3 walk-ons. Incredible.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it's Senjutsu from last year. They
Yeah,
didn't
but
have
it's-
to,
yeah,
they
but
didn't
they
have to go
still-
out of their way to do it.
Yeah, but for Eddie to change his costume like that and to grow tusks, like, amazing. Good for Eddie.
Anyway, that's enough about Iron Maiden because it's Iron Maiden. Leonard is
you
Leonard. Iron Maiden is Iron Maiden.
Will you join me in this next part?
That goes on for so long.
My arms turn into jello after that. Of course, we're doing Hell on Earth.
Yeah.
First encore song.
Yeah.
First encore song. You were talking earlier about the pyro budget.
Yeah. That
found
song,
it.
Yeah, that song started. I'm like, there it is. That's where it all went.
Every blast,
And
$100.
it keeps going and going. You're like, oh my god! Like
You're
there's
just
so
like,
much. It is so hot.
It's a weird point to put all that heat on the crowd because it's like you're ready for the end of the show, you're exhausted, and then they're just blasting you with fire for like.
We joked, but like we legit got tans. Like James and I, like if you look at our arms, like we have. This is from Hell on Earth. Like this
This is the skin that saw hell on earth. This
Yeah.
is the skin that didn't.
Yeah. Can you imagine being on stage?
no.
Like, they're about to melt.
Yeah. So that's where the pyro budget went. It's great. It's good to have that epic in the set because that and Parchment were like the 2 best songs
Yeah.
on that album for me. So like at least we got one of them. I feel like there would have been riots if they didn't play that one though, because that's like the big one for
I would
everybody.
talk to like a bunch of people after the show and be like, I think Hell on Earth might be their best song ever.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
people like I have a lot of respect for who have seen the band hundreds of times were like, that's the best song.
Yeah.
I heard somebody say best song since Fear of the Dark, and I was like, why is Fear of the Dark coming up again?
Who keeps letting this guy in?
But it's a huge highlight. Like everyone loves that song. I haven't heard anybody say they don't like that song.
Right, like I haven't heard anybody be like, "Oh, Hell on Earth, God."
It's
doesn't
very
happen.
emotional. Like I feel
It is, yeah.
I've
I
seen-
feel emotional when they're playing.
I've seen
it.
tears.
I've seen a lot of people cry during that song, like a lot of people. So
And I don't know, like, it's what, 9 minutes long, give or take?
it's like 10.
10
Yeah,
to 11 maybe.
It goes by
so fast.
so
Yeah.
fast.
Except for the intro.
Well, the intro's, yeah, but like,
When you're doing this. That's just because you feel the physical.
yeah, because you're actually having to do
Fatigue.
physical labor. But, but we're cooking.
Yeah,
We're absolutely just cooking.
They're cooking the crowd, that's for sure.
Yeah, I get some weenies up there.
that's your next tour prank. Just
Leave a, yeah, I'm gonna bring hot dogs.
dogs.
That's, oh shit, that's a good, don't
That's a good one.
cut that, bleep that out. I don't want people taking the
Don't steal that. You're just making burgers.
Leave a comment. What's your favorite thing to cook on the open grill? What's your favorite barbecue item? Speaking of barbecue, the Trooper. I don't have a segue for that. This is the song that if I never heard it again, I could be okay.
Yeah, it'll be
It's the Trooper.
It felt like same old Trooper. Now that the legacy shtick is done with that song.
Same old Trooper, but with none of the flair.
Well,
No flag,
No costume.
no costume.
I have to say that in Birmingham, I left the barrier just before Hell on Earth because I was just tired and I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna go spend the rest of the show back here because I don't have it in me. And
Just
I, don't
wanted to
want,
get a
I
chicken.
didn't want the band to see me like,
She'd already roasted her weenies.
Yeah,
And
I
already put them in the
I
back.
already roasted them. I was ready to just get out of there. And when I was back, I was like parked up behind a soundboard, and I saw these 2 dudes. They were drunk, having a great time together. And when the Trooper flag came across, they were like, "Oh my God, it's the Trooper!" And then it started, and they freaked out. And if you can see in that video, it's the 2 guys where the one drops his friend. At
the end of the video.
At the very end, it's them. So during that song, they got so excited. That might have have been Wasted Years he dropped them at, but it was those two, and they just got so excited. They were like screaming in each other's faces. I'm like, this is why they have to play the Trooper.
I know.
You know, it's like I understand that we're all tired of it, but like for 90% of the crowd, that's like
That's the song.
Oh my God, it's the
I wouldn't
Trooper.
say tired, but I think we're all at the point where we've seen them so many times. We're like, oh, it would be cool if they did 22 Acacia Avenue. Like, we're looking for deep cuts.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, yeah, there are fans out there who don't get to see Maiden
they were
ever.
they were legitimately like, oh my God, it's the Trooper.
And if they're not going to give them Hallowed and Number the Beast and Run of the Hills,
You have
like,
to, yeah.
give them that, then, you know.
Oh yeah, I was in Mansfield 2017 Book of Souls. They started the intro for Number of the Beast, and there was a guy behind me who was like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "It's Number of the Beast, dude. Like, what do you think they weren't gonna play it? Like, NSYNC doesn't play Bye Bye Bye. Like, of course they're gonna play. Like, you're like Number of the Beast."
Yeah, and I bet that same guy came to this tour, and he's just like, "What the hell is
The
this?"
Trooper.
You know, it's the Trooper, even though we saw it last time.
Shut up.
Shut up! Can't believe it. Anyway, here we are, the last song of the night,
Wasted Years.
and
Go ahead.
good.
I mean, it's a reprise of Book of Souls, right?
But I think it makes such a great outro, especially for this tour. It's like, okay, do it again, that's fine. I think my favorite playing of that was London, when we all just had a fucking blast at the end.
London Night 2 was a party.
It was a party. I had so much fun with that because I was at the soundboard, like arm over it, getting some fresh air, and they'd been partying the whole time. I'm like, this is the last song. I'm gonna go into the fucking sweaty hot pit and just have a blast. And that was also the show where they couldn't get the Trooper backdrop, so it was just the Wasted Years.
Funny.
It was just the Wasted Years backdrop
For
two songs. So that was interesting. I feel like we were some of the first people to see the Trooper played without the Trooper backdrop.
It was cool to see
Yeah.
it. Like
Yeah.
I was talking to Adam about it afterwards when we were getting food, and he's like, "Man, they don't usually A, make those kind of mistakes, but also B, like, oh, the Trooper without the Trooper backdrop."
I wonder, like, what was going on backstage when that happened, and I bet everyone was just looking at Steve like, "What do you want to do?" And he was just like, "Fuck it."
Go on then.
So yeah, obviously great ending to a set. I always enjoy that song, and I always have a blast with it at the end with you guys.
So, of all the tours you've seen, how does the set list rank?
Second. First two legs of Legacy are still my all-time
Whoa,
favorite that
really?
I've seen. Yeah.
Okay.
It just had such a good fucking spread of songs across their catalog.
Greater Good of God.
Yeah.
I have to agree. It's got to be Legacy. The first legs.
If Parchment was in there, I might be changing things, but
Well, Legacy Net didn't have a letdown song.
yeah,
and
Legacy
this
was
one
just
did,
bam, bam, bam. Every single song was just fucking great. It
Very
fit.
good, yeah.
Like, you know, like I said, what they did with the Trooper, that made it so much better.
Yeah.
You know, but if Parchment replaced Death of the Celts, this would be a contender
now
for
we're
that.
talking.
But yeah, how about you?
As we've talked about before, Somewhere in Time is my favorite album.
Yeah.
So like, it's really good. I want to see more of it. Obviously, I still have more shows to go, but you can't beat those. The first 5 songs are fucking killer, and then to get Alexander, and it's just like,
Yeah.
and then Hell on Earth. Like,
It's something special, that's for fucking sure.
it's a special tour, and if you've not seen the show and you're in Europe or in Canada this year and you're thinking about it, just go. Try and get a ticket. I know a lot of the shows have sold out, but
Yeah, they have.
it's so good. What else we got on the list?
You got a favorite show?
Oh, Birmingham,
Yeah.
for sure. I don't know. Birmingham was there was like a feeling to Birmingham that like it just felt raucous and fun. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
feel
London
like-
was good, but
And I feel like at that point, like we didn't like Lord of the Lost very much, but we learned how to like have fun with them.
we learned with the Lost.
Yeah, we learned with the Lost. We actually had some fun with it. It's like, you know, they're still not for me, but we, you know, figured out how to have a good time.
Well, yeah, because a lot of fans, and I'm not trying to make this like a poo-poo party, but some fans actively just don't engage, or
Yeah.
like they just like, right?
Well, I
but
mean,
like
I
we
do-
like to have
yeah.
fun still, and we made our fun, and I think Lord of the Lost saw that we were having our own version of fun, and they wanted to join in. And by the end of our run with Lord of the Lost,
Yeah.
they were.
They were looking for us.
Yeah, the last show, like I could see the guitarist, like, where's our gang? And unfortunately, we didn't win First the Barrier, so we were at the back. But that's the stuff that I love is that,
Yeah.
like, you know what? We don't like your music, but we appreciate you trying.
Yeah.
and let's have fun together.
And I was, the kind of that first few shows, just because it's I don't know anything about them.
Right.
It's I'm not into the music, but once it's you've heard the songs and you're like, oh, this is full metal. Full metal. You kind of learn it, and then you can kind of have a good time with your friends with it and stuff. So yeah. So that was our last
clap we would do.
Yes, that was our last Lord of the Lost fun that we had too.
It was just fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite's still Ljubljana, just because it was just oh my god.
Yeah.
You can't beat the surprise.
Yeah.
That was the whole reason we went.
Yeah.
And then did you have a favorite city that you visited?
Favorite city I visited. I mean, London is London. London is very cool. But I did enjoy Leeds. Just kidding. No. It's a joke. No, Manchester's super cool.
Yeah.
I know you liked Nottingham, but because I'm still in Manchester and Steph's in the chat. Guys, Nottingham is the best city ever? Question mark.
Comment below.
Comment below. Do you agree? Like and subscribe to Nottingham.
But honestly, we were walking around Nottingham just this is so much nicer than where we just came from, which
It's
is
like a college
Manchester.
town. Yeah, it feels because Nottingham feels like a older and younger at the same time, whereas Manchester's it's a fucking city.
Yeah.
We have shit to do.
Yeah. Basically.
But I enjoyed the hustle and bustle of Manchester.
Yeah, you went to places like Liverpool and that too.
I did go to Liverpool.
They were closed.
Yeah, Liverpool was closed for an EDM festival. Every time I'd go into somewhere and leave, you just hear, and it was just not great. Also, Kim stepped in dog shit in Liverpool.
No.
It's in the video. Sorry. So, poop emoji. But it was it was just fun. I mean, I know you guys mostly took buses and things like that, but we took the train everywhere.
We ended up taking a lot of trains because it's I swapped.
Okay, now you're stepping on my train shit.
I swapped the bus in Glasgow for a train.
Glasgow.
And yeah, I think we only had 2 buses at the end of the day.
Trains.
Gotta
Leave
love them.
a comment below. How cool are trains?
Leave a train emoji.
Leave a
below.
train emoji.
Wait, the first train we did, some guy that worked on the train was coming by with this binder, and he was like, "Do you want to know any information about trains?" And we were like, "What?
No! Go away. Of course not.
We're just trying to eat our Tesco sandwiches and shit.
I'm like, is he on the clock? Is this just a guy?
Would you like to know more?
But yeah.
So your favorite city, Nottingham.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll say mine is Manchester.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah, what would you rank the set list out of 10?
Oh, solid 9.
Same. I was going to say 9.5, but I think 9.
I would say it's a solid 14 out of 15. Because there's one.
I said out of 10.
Anyway, what do you think? 9?
I'm gonna do 8.5.
Okay.
Really? I mean, that intro alone for me puts it at 9. They could play fucking poo-poo songs through the whole set, and I'd be like, you know
Poo-poo
what?
song.
It's 9 out of 10.
They don't usually do covers.
The Foo Fighters.
The Pooh Fighters.
Yeah, the Pooh Fighters.
Oh.
They could do Pooh Fighters.
Iron Manure.
Yeah, they have their own little cover band of Maiden now, Iron Manure. You've probably heard it if you watched the Manchester vlog.
You wipe my ass and I'll wipe yours too. You ate some beans and they went right through.
The only other thing I wanted
No.
to talk about was where's this tour going? Because obviously, looking at the set, it's they had all this stuff built for a Senjutsu tour for 2021 and 2, but they did Legacy and there was a problem where the world got shut down. So they have a drum set for Senjutsu. They have a blow up Eddie that's Senjutsu. Mm-hmm. Is there a point where if this rolls into 2025, just Made in England and Legacy was a 3-year tour, do they toss out the Senjutsu stuff, the Senjutsu songs, and they do the proper somewhere on tour set that was probably planned after Senjutsu?
Steph?
I personally don't think so. I hope to God that this doesn't go into 2025 because I want as many different tours as we can get in the rest of their career. And that would just be eating up another year. And I think if they went into another year, they wouldn't do that because it's they already have all the Japanese backdrops and stuff like that include both albums. So I think that if they were to go into a third year, it would still be the same. Maybe they'd change a few songs, but it would still include some Jutsu stuff. But fingers crossed, it's a 2-year tour and they hit plenty of places next year and everybody who wants to see them gets to see them.
I mean, if they cover everywhere next year,
Yeah.
hopefully that'll be it. But
Just please, because it's like, as I love this tour and I want to hear that intro as many times as possible, but we also only have limited time with this band. Everybody knows it, so it's like, I just want to cram in as much variety as we can with them.
Yeah.
You know?
stick to 2-year tours, please.
Please.
Yeah, I think a third year, it just, unless they really have to do it only to make sure that they go, like the legacy third year was supposed to be Asia and, you know, all of those sorts of like countries that they can't get to normally. I would understand it. I wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm hoping that
They
next
do it.
year, I hope next year they do
Everything.
a new version of the plane tour.
Yeah.
Whole world tour minus Europe. And
Honestly, I wouldn't even mind it if next year was a like sort of like smaller US tour, like only 20 cities or something like that. So that way they could hit more other places and just get that shit out of the way.
And on to the next thing. So, yeah.
Album 18.
please.
I just want one more proper release where there's nothing getting in the way. They can just do an album tour. Like, I will be so sad if we don't get, like, one more proper album tour. Because it's like, you know, we didn't get it for Senjutsu, and we're not gonna get it for Senjutsu at this point. It's already how old? Like, it's gonna be 2 this year?
That's what's crazy. I was going through YouTube and it's like, oh, would you like to watch Writing on the Wall released 2 years ago? And I'm like, oh my God.
It's certainly not a new album anymore.
No,
and
it's
it's like
not.
they're going to keep playing them next year. The prospect of 2025 as well is on the table. It's like,
Can you imagine?
It's just too long.
It's the new album tour that came out 4 years ago.
yeah.
It would just be such a shame if we didn't get, like, a new album and properly toured it. It just didn't happen again. Like,
'Cause
I'd be
even-
devastated.
Even Book of Souls had that delay in 2015.
But
where
at
they
least
didn't
it got
tour.
its own tour.
It did.
Yeah.
But I want proper release and then tour right away and get the whole shebang. The last one. Most
I
likely.
think they're going to do what they did during Legacy. I think they're going to record the new album this year.
this year.
I think because they have the gap between Vakken and Canada, there's a gap. And then after Power Trip, I mean, I know they record wherever they record, usually Paris, but they want to do Southern California. They're already there.
Yeah.
Tour is over.
They only had like 4 dates at that point. Like, it won't be like, oh, we've been on the road for so long.
I didn't realize how big the gap is between Vakken and Canada.
Yeah.
It's a full time off.
There's time to do an album.
But anyway,
Leave a-
anything?
leave a
for the
comment.
That's for the next speculation video.
Yeah,
anyway.
I can't wait to cover Power Trip, so that'll be...
Yeah, we can't wait for our correspondent, Matt, Mike Bellingham.
Mike is going to be our correspondent for that show.
And then the three amigos of Mike, Matt, and myself going to Canada. Three amigos. There's your thumbnail.
Anyways, any closing thoughts, guys? Anything else you want to get out of your system?
I wish the London shirt was cooler.
Yeah, I didn't buy it.
I was talking to Kim. It should have been Eddie at Wimbledon because it was going on while we were there.
We said it should have been like Stranger Eddie smoking a cigar with Winston Churchill.
All good options.
In the war room.
Leave a comment. What event shirt for a city they've played this year would you change?
And it's a shame because the back of that shirt is so cool. Like, I really like the back, but the front
I'm not turning around.
doesn't do it for me. And then, and then it was the same for the UK shirt.
If I could just slither in here.
I bought the UK shirt because it's like the back was cool enough for me to want it, but it's like I feel like the back should have been the front. But I am glad that neither of these shirts had the merch booth generic background.
Yeah, I'm happy with the green titty girls back though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love her.
Green titty girl.
Yeah.
But we actually had to come home to a bunch of shirts in the mail.
Yeah.
Because it was just cheaper that way.
These were actually cheaper for me to buy online. Like,
Both of
not the
these.
event shirts, but it was $20 per order cheaper for me to get, like, I got 2 of these and 2 of those. And it was like, we saved like $40 doing it that way. So I'm like, I'm not going to buy another merch booth. I'll save some room in my luggage. It's not t-shirt ink. So.
Oh yeah. I bought all the shirts. I came home to a stack of shit. But you're right. It was cheaper and it's not t-shirt ink.
Yep.
And you don't have to carry them home and stuff your bags. So.
I noticed too, like, I was going to buy the patches at the merch booth and they were £25. Online.
In this economy?
Online, they're like $15. So I'm glad I didn't buy them there. I might still buy them online. I really want, I just want one of them. I just want that triangular, like, spaceship patch.
What's the one thing you're not going to miss from the tour? The tour we just had.
I don't know, spending money on every single meal because I like to cook at home, and it's just like going out and having to like seek out food for every meal.
I'm looking forward to never hearing these words again. I don't know. You guys want to go to Weatherspoon? Every time. Weatherspoon?
Nobody else was helping with options. You're all like, Steph, where do we go? I'm like, I don't fucking know what's in this city. Except
Because everything
everywhere.
closes at 8, and there's no trash cans in any of the cities.
There's not. Everywhere has a Weatherspoon, so I'm like, do you just want to go to Weatherspoons? And I all wrote about it, and it's like, well, don't leave it up to me then. You guys can look on
This
the map
is the real
too.
Capnharris right here.
You can look on the map too. So either y'all pick a place, or we're going to the easiest place to go to. And you had a good time. Don't give me a no shit.
Well, also, like, we were on the road for 6 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
So we're looking for a deal. Like, we're not trying to eat expensive
You can get
every
your
night.
tendies, you can get your burgers. Like, don't give me shit.
£6 for a buffet of shit.
It's a good deal.
Anyway, you feel good?
I feel sweaty.
Yeah, it's
it's
quite
It's a
hot in
little
here.
warm.
Feel
under
like
this
hell on earth
light.
in here.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time for some more fun videos.
Hey, I like fun.
I love humor.
I mega affirm that. Is that the thumbnail?
Yeah, I guess so.
England.
England.
Okay,
Okay.
did it stop like this too?
No. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. And look, you gotta let me do this without laughing.
Okay.
Okay.
Take 4.